Hi, this is Leah Dudgeon, and welcome to Life Take Two. This podcast shares stories of Filipino immigrants who started a new life in the United States. Are you a new immigrant looking for a job? Before you send that resume, listen first. My first job in the US was as a marketer for a legal financial company in Los Angeles. I had my own sales territory and I was marketing to lawyers. It was also part of my job to screen and train other marketers in our company. So, I am speaking from the perspective of an applicant and an interviewer. Let me give you some tips from both sides of the table. Number one, Americans don't like long resume. They don't have the time to read. The rule is, if you have several years of work experience, the most is 2 pages. If you are fresh from school or with less than 3 years of experience, keep it to 1 page. In writing your resume, keep it short. Do not use too many long sentences. Learn to sift what is relevant to the job that you are applying for. Next tip, in your interview, do not be mahiyain. Shine. You only have 5 to 10 minutes to sell yourself. This is not the time to be modest. Ask questions. Do not wait to be asked. Volunteer your information. Do not be timid. When I was interviewed, my boss did not tell me much about the job. He just said, "I need a marketer. What can you do for my company?" So, I told him in bullet points my skills and experience, and I told him I can reorganize his sales department. Hindi pwedeng shy. Know what you are good at and aggressively market yourself. And this is how I landed my second job. I worked so hard that people in the industry, especially my lawyer clients, started to notice. In one of my breakfast meetings with Gould and Fassel Law, they do car accidents. They offered me a job. That one move made such a huge impact in my finances. It quadrupled my income. But more than that, working with car accident attorneys allows me to help Filipino kababayans who get in car accidents. They feel comfortable talking to a Filipina instead of American lawyers. Next tip, forget your fancy title in the Philippines. You may have to start at least a rank lower. If you work hard, you will be noticed. I was a branch manager for a big insurance company in the Philippines with 16 years of sales management experience. I also had 70 plus agents under me. But when I moved here, I had to start as a marketing rep, side by side with college graduates. I didn't mind that. Why? That is just the reality of migration. You may have years of work experience from your country, but let's face it, you do not have local work experience. This means you don't know how they do business, and believe me, it is different. In a couple of years, I was already well established and was already making more than triple my income in the Philippines. Another tip, companies usually hire through referrals. Most medium-sized companies do not have headhunters or HR managers. So what does this mean? You have to network, and that's how you get referred to jobs. But what do you do if you are new and you don't have a good network yet? I did this. I applied through an employment agency. Find an employment agency or headhunters. These headhunters can match your experience with their clients' requirements. They can open doors for you. They can introduce you to jobs and industries you may not even know. Let me share something on this. I went through a Filipino employment agency in LA. They even helped me. The most important thing is they helped me with my visa and they found jobs for me. Of course, all of this is for a fee, but it was worth it. I was able to find a company who was willing to sponsor me, and that's how I got my J1 visa. I will talk about that in another episode. Unfortunately, they had some questionable ways, and I felt that they also took advantage of me and other Filipinos who were desperate to find jobs here. So you have to be careful. Having said that, our next tip is be careful of employers who will take advantage. One employer was paying me $1,000 less than a new hire after I've been with the company for more than a year. I walked away, and this employer did this because I was new, I didn't know my rights. That is considered discrimination. For as long as your papers are legal, you should get paid based on performance. And my last tip, in a lot of companies, there is no training department. There is not a lot of hand holding. There is no time for that. Unless you are with a multinational corporation with very defined structure, you are on your own. Usually, you will learn on the job or what they call shadowing. So you have to be a fast learner. Do you know any kababayans who just moved here to the US? Please share this podcast with them. I would also like to hear from you. What was your experience as a new immigrant? What was your first job? What were your challenges? Our kababayans will really benefit from hearing from us and our stories. I really enjoy listening to stories of immigrants. I am inspired when people tell me how they started here in the United States. I hope to hear from you, and I'll be with you next week for a new episode. Next week, I'll talk about how I got my J1 visa and what a J1 visa is and what your other options may be. Thank you for listening. This is Leah from Life Take 2.